I'm Keely Van Middendorp. We begin tonight with a story from Idaho that's captured national headlines. Tonight, there could be a major break in the case of two missing children who haven't been seen in public for nearly 9 months.
And their stepfather is now in custody after investigators made a grisly discovery on his property. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti has been following this case and has the startling new developments.
Tonight, Chad Daybell taken away in handcuffs, investigators digging in his backyard. The latest twist in a months-long search for 8-year-old JJ and 17-year-old Tylee.
The investigators and detectives have recovered what's believed to be human remains that are not identified at this time.
Rexburg police say those human remains are now being analyzed. CBS News has learned 20 members of the FBI are now scouring the property. It's the second search of his Idaho home. The stunning developments happening more than 3 months after Daybell's wife, Lori Vallow, was arrested for defying a court order to prove her kids were alive. These are the last images of JJ, who disappeared on September 23rd. His sister Tylee last seen earlier that month in Yellowstone National Park. Vallow and Daybell married in November, shortly after Daybell's then-wife Tammy suddenly died. Her death is under investigation. The newlyweds moved to Hawaii without the children. Vallow was extradited to Idaho in March. Police confirmed today's search warrant pertains to the disappearance of the two kids and that charges against Daybell are pending. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News.
And the man whose death has sparked nationwide protests was laid to rest today in his hometown of Houston. George Floyd was remembered by family members, friends, as well as several prominent public figures. Reverend Al Sharpton spoke at the memorial service. He called the service a time for reflection as well as a call to action. Floyd was killed more than 2 weeks ago, igniting nationwide outrage over police brutality. And a peaceful protest in Whitefish last week turned ugly when a visibly angry man confronted demonstrators, yelling at them while standing only inches away from their faces. And one of those protesters, an African-American Whitefish woman taunted by that man, is now sharing her story after this picture has gone viral. MTN's Marin Sue reports.
The words of my father that he used to speak to us as children when he would talk about, keeping us safe and all that stuff when we were children, he used to tell us that no matter what the threat, always look them in the eye, so they have to acknowledge that you're human. And in that moment, I felt that, I heard that, and I lived it. And I made sure I took off my sunglasses to look at that man, and I did it.
It's this picture that captures the moment Samantha Francine is talking about. Francine was peacefully protesting for the Black Lives Matter movement after the death of Minnesota man George Floyd outside of Whitefish City Hall on June 3rd, when she was confronted by an angry man later identified by Whitefish police as 51-year-old Jay Snowden.
It was a surreal experience. I really can't describe it. I didn't, like I said, I don't really know if I felt fear. I still haven't processed it enough to give a definite answer.
According to police, Snowden was later charged with 1 count of disorderly conduct. While she's experienced many positive things in Whitefish growing up, Francine says she was often met with discrimination.
The first time I remember being called the N-word, I was 7 years old. I wasn't invited to all the birthday parties because some parents were uncomfortable with my presence.
She says she struggled with her identity in a predominantly Caucasian community.
I started to try to make myself less African American. I started to straighten my hair, chemically straighten it regularly. I started, dyeing my hair. I tried to dye my hair blonde one time. I, went through periods of where I would try to starve myself so I would appear more thin, less curvy. And then, yes, when people would talk about the African-American community in a negative way, I either wouldn't speak up or I would agree in some sort of sense so that they would feel comfortable around me.
With Floyd's death, she knew she had to be a voice for her community, and she wants change.
But there's not a lot of people of color in the community that I'm seeing. So I do want to be a part of the community. I do want to be out so that there is somebody to look up to, an example, something that you can recognize and identify with.
She says the best way to start change is start with a conversation.
Francine says peaceful protesting will continue to take place in honor of the Black Lives Matter movement from 5 to 7 each night here outside of Whitefish City Hall for the next 2 weeks. In Whitefish, Marin Sue, MTN News.
Montana state lawmakers are looking at options for doing some legislative work remotely if COVID-19 impacts a legislative session. The Legislative Council, which includes Republicans and Democratic leaders from the House and Senate, discussed the issue today over video conference. State law says lawmakers have to be present for final votes on bills, but attorneys told the council they have the authority to determine whether someone can be present using electronic means. With the uncertainty surrounding the 2021 legislative session, lawmakers said they may need to make adjustments to the typical schedule of the session.
We may need to be very flexible in the next session and doing some things outside the calendar. We all know how difficult it is to estimate revenue in troubling years, and we really don't know until the end of April exactly where we're at. I think we need to be prepared too, maybe taking a few weeks off the end of April and waiting for those revenue numbers to come in before we might have to finalize our budget.
Some legislative interim committees are preparing to return to in-person meetings. Lawmakers discussed possible guidance for those meetings, but they split over whether anyone in attendance should be required to wear a mask. Montana's 2020 general election campaigns are now underway, and of course that means you'll be seeing plenty of campaign ads on television from now until November. As part of MTN's political coverage, we'll be fact-checking some of those ad spots. Today we have the first one of these analyses as Chief Political Reporter Mike Dennison drills down on an ad from Republican gubernatorial candidate Greg Gianforte.
Gianforte and Democrat Mike Cooney became their party's respective nominees for governor last Tuesday. And within a day, Gianforte had an ad up going after Cooney.
No wonder Mike Cooney opposes term limits. He's a career politician and a government bureaucrat who has never had a real job.
It's true that Cooney, the current lieutenant governor, did oppose term limits, which have been in place in Montana since 1993. He's also spent most of his adult life working for government, as the elected Montana Secretary of State from 1989 to 2000, as an aide to former U.S. Senator Max Baucus, and more recently as lieutenant governor and a division chief in the state labor department. But he did work outside government for 5 years as head of Montana Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, a nonprofit advocating for healthcare programs that help children. We also asked Gianforte's campaign if they're saying anyone who works for the government doesn't have a real job. They said no, and that government employees work hard each day serving Montanans. The ad also dings Cooney for supporting an increase in the state gas tax and vehicle registration fees. It's talking about increases approved by the legislature in 2017 and supported by the Bullock administration, which Cooney is part of. The gas tax increase started out at 4.5 cents a gallon, reached 5 cents this year, and goes up to 6 cents by 2023. It's raising about $31 million this year for highway and street repairs in Montana, including $20 million for local government projects. And it also brings in an additional $80 million or so in federal highway funds to Montana. The vehicle registration fee increase was 3%, which is helping fund the state motor vehicle division. So most of this ad's claims are true. It also lays out what will be a consistent theme and line of attack from Gianforte's campaign. That Cooney is a government bureaucrat, while Gianforte is the experienced businessman. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Well, it was a cooler day for Montanans, but the temperatures are going to warm up tomorrow, and our Storm Tracker weather team is here to tell us more.
Grant Garland joins us now. Good evening, Grant.
Good evening, Keely, and good evening, Tim. Good evening to everybody. How about that? Just throwing it out there. Yeah, today was a cooler day, but let's just go ahead and jump into tomorrow just really quick. Temperatures are going to be right around the average, 72 degrees in Great Falls, 73 in Helena, 72 in Havre, and 73 in Glasgow. And now let's set the tone for what we actually saw today. 63 in Great Falls, 61 in Helena, 69 in Havre, and 70 in Glasgow. A lot of temperatures, 7 to plus degrees lower than what we typically see. That's what I was trying to say. Today we did get up to 63 degrees, but I really want to talk about this morning. It was cold getting out, 39 degrees. The record was set back in 1950, just 3 degrees cooler. That was also the year that a Stromberg black and white television was only $250. That's expensive. A glance outside, right now 49-degree temperatures in Great Falls, 56 in Helena, Lewistown 52, and Fort Benton 57. We are looking at a warming trend where we're going to see the upper 80s by the end of the work week, but we're going to talk about that later. For now, guys, back to you.
Thanks, Grant. Coming up next on the 10 o'clock news, business is taking flight.
How one industry is faring in the age of COVID-19.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
And welcome back. Well, of the industries impacted by COVID-19, one of the hardest hit has been the airline industry. But as the nation has begun gradually reopening, the skies have slowly started to open up, and so has business for air carriers. The director of One Montana Airport says the past few months have been a mixed bag when it comes to air travel.
The passengers in May that we have had in April, which was almost none. And then potentially even June could double that. I think things are definitely on the upswing. In terms of the overall airport authority of all the activity that we have, the various tenants, parking, rental cars, I think that isn't quite in the recovery stage yet. We're still kind of on the bottom there, trying to figure out how we retool those contracts to reflect a new reality.
Now, Faulkner also tells us now is a good time to buy airline tickets and that some airlines could be adding more flights.
Well, a grizzly bear was spotted in a Big Fork neighborhood early Sunday morning. Dave and Joe Strouser looked out of their Harbor Village home window to find this grizzly bear tearing down a tree limb, trying to reach a bird feeder. The Strousers grabbed their phone and took the video as the bear sat for a few seconds before roaming their front yard, eventually taking off after the homeowners knocked on the window. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks Regional Information Manager Dylan Tabish says grizzly bear specialists have been receiving reports of sightings constantly from Whitefish to Big Fork in recent weeks.
Our grizzly bear specialists are aware of this Big Fork incident and will be responding and trying to find out if that bear is still in the area and moving it on, or if they have to, they'll capture it. Try to reduce those food attractants that might bring a grizzly bear like this one onto your property, and that includes bird feeders. That's a huge attractant for bears, garbage, livestock like chickens, anything like that could bring a bear onto your property.
Tabish says if you see a grizzly in your neighborhood, immediately contact Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks. Meanwhile, a grizzly is roaming near Big Sandy in north central Montana, representing more expansion east of known grizzly movement. According to Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks, the bear's presence reinforces the need for people on the edge of the grizzly habitat to be bear aware. People first spotted the bear last week near Conrad, then outside of Brady. FWP says the bear has gotten into garbage, killed 2 chickens, and moved around the area, ending up 5 miles northwest of Big Sandy on Sunday. The bear moved more than 10 miles a day sometimes, so it's likely young and male.
Well, coming up, we're going to talk about our highs and lows as well as what you can be expecting for the next 7 days after this break. So you have had a fantastic Tuesday. Take a look at this scene behind me. I mean, it's just amazing. It makes me want to jump on Aladdin's carpet, the magic carpet, and just fly through Central Avenue. It looks like it'd be a fun time. Temperatures also aren't shabby. We're looking at 49 degrees. You know, if I just wear a coat, I think I'll be fine. I won't catch pneumonia. Not yet. As we look at elsewhere, temperatures around Helena, 56 degrees, Fort Benton, 57, out towards Lewistown, 52. Elsewhere, we are seeing similar temperatures, 50 degrees up in Cutbank, towards Glasgow, 54, and Jordan, 50 degrees. Now, today in Helena, we saw temperatures get up to around 61 degrees. 13 degrees below the average for this time of year at 74. The record set back in 2015 at 95 degrees when Adele asked us, hello, can you hear me? And we were like, yes, we can, and we'll buy your album. In terms of precipitation, we're also seeing for this month 1.05 inches of rain. We are above the average just by around 1/10 of an inch, but yet when you go down and you look at us in terms of 2020, what are we seeing? Well, we are below average, so we do need that rain, and the good news is we will see that this weekend, scattered chance, but we will hopefully get that. High pressure right now is in Idaho as well as Oregon, and it's allowing our flow to be really out of the west as well as northwest, and that's why we saw the clouds that we saw today. We are also looking at a few showers still impacting areas around Helena, but the good news is they have been on the downward side. As we head throughout the night into tomorrow, we're going to be looking at clouds still on the increase for a partly sunny start. As the high pressure does continue, though, to take hold, it will strengthen, allowing for us to really see a lot of dry conditions as well as sunny skies tomorrow. Could we see the potential for a scattered, isolated shower? Yes, around 4 to 6 p.m. possibly, but I think that we'll mostly stay dry. By Thursday morning, high pressure starts to scoot down. We're going to see this cold front make its way, and as it does push south, we'll see our high pressure also push south, Could see an isolated shower or two on Thursday as well. And in terms of winds, we're seeing a breezy start to our Wednesday. We're going to be looking at 30 to 40 mile per hour winds by 5 a.m. in Cutbank, 10 to 20 in Havre, Lewistown, Great Falls, as well as Glasgow. A little bit breezier in Helena, 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. Heading throughout the morning, 10 to 20 in Lewistown, as well as Great Falls, breezier in Cutbank. By 4 p.m., 10 to 20 in generally every location. Temperatures are going to be on the rise. We're talking the 80s, upper 80s around Friday, so it will be hot. You'll see me not outside. I'm going to be staying inside, and then we're going to dip down to around 68 degrees on Sunday. You can always follow me, meteorologist Grant Garland, on Facebook as well as Twitter and on Instagram. I'd love to get to connect with you and start to build up that bond. As we're heading throughout the next 12 hours, by 5 a.m., 46 degrees with clear skies, 8 a.m., 54 with sunny skies. It will be a beautiful morning. Temperatures elsewhere, we're going to be getting down to around 45 degrees in Choteau, 43 in White Silver Springs, as well as Lewistown. As we head throughout the day tomorrow, temperatures warming up 10 a.m., 60 degrees, by 4 p.m., 68. Start to introduce a chance for a few clouds rolling in for a partly sunny day. 72, though, will be the name of the game for our high. Partly sunny on Friday. Showers are possible on Saturday, only a slight chance, though it will be breezy. But then Sunday comes into the play, and that's when we could be looking at a better chance for showers. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Grant. Well, more color is brightening up downtown Great Falls.
Volunteers from the community and organizations like Get Fit Great Falls are painting crosswalks as part of the Montana Building Active Communities Initiative, or BACI. BACI aims to promote ways Montana residents can engage with their surroundings while bringing foot traffic to urban areas. The initiative also works to provide a safe environment for pedestrians of all ages. Coordinator Kim Skornagoski says that they've been adding bright additions at crosswalks that encourage drivers to slow down for about 3 years in a row.
Makes our community attractive to tourists and young people, but it also changes their behavior and gets people more inspired to walk our downtowns.
Now they're always looking for volunteers. We have those details on our websites. Well, coming up, what does the immediate future hold for Big Sky Conference football?
UM leaders address Grizzly fans' concerns.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 10 o'clock news continues on KRTV, Montana's news leader.
And welcome back. Well, with the prospect of professional baseball increasingly unlikely this summer, the Great Falls Voyagers have plans for other things to bring fans out to Centene Stadium in 2020. There is no official cancellation of the Pioneer League season just yet, but the Voyagers plan to announce their Save Summer at Centene Stadium campaign on Thursday. Family movie nights, a kickball league, trivia nights, and Legion baseball are just a few of the things on the schedule. Voyagers president Scott Reesner said the staff will be ready for minor league baseball in the event that it happens, but will focus on providing family fun this summer.
If you're used to coming out having, great local beer, great local food, we're going to have all that here still, just in the form of movie nights, a community kickball league, trivia nights. We're going to have a day where fans can come and try to hit a home run out of here to win prizes. So you name it, we're going to try it. It's just going to be a whole wild range of events. So whenever you're sitting around at home going, I don't know what to do this week, or I've been cooped at home for a couple days, check out our website, check out our social media. We can promise you that every single day, every event, every week, we're going to have a multitude of events going on out here, and it's just going to be pure old-fashioned fun. That's what we're going for.
Well, the fate of the 2020 college football season at Washington Grizzly Stadium is up in the air, but Grizz head coach Bobby Houck and AD Kent Haslam gave fans an update today. MTN's Jack Ginsburg has more.
We're planning to play football in the fall, and we have to plan in that fashion. If not, we're gonna get caught when all of a sudden it's time to play football.
There are still a ton of question marks surrounding the Grizz football season this coming fall, from the schedule to stadium capacity limits and season ticket holder options. As of now, Montana is planning to hold football games with fans in Washington Grizzly Stadium, but now full capacity will likely not be an option.
The sweet spot we'd really like to get at to manage all of our season ticket holders and manage our students, and that kind of demand would be about 18 to 19,000. That would be a really good spot for us. But we have not set a capacity like, hey, we're shooting for 50%. I think those will come as we start to develop more substance to our plan.
However, with over $5 million coming from ticket sales each season, it's an understatement to say Montana needs to fill those seats if they want a season.
Now, playing without fans, it doesn't take a really brilliant business person to recognize if you play without fans, you've got all the expenses with no revenue.
On June 1st, the University of Montana began the first steps of their plan as they started allowing fall student athletes to return to campus. Other football programs across the nation like Alabama, Arkansas State, and Auburn have all seen positive cases since players returned. Haslam says he was relieved to see students back on campus, but also knows a positive case is nearly inevitable at this moment. What's more important is how the university responds.
How we manage that, how we isolate, how we contact trace, how we treat that is going to be the next test for us. There's no doubt. Just like anywhere else in society.
And you can see more of the interview with UM's athletic director on montanasports.com. We'll be right back with a final check of weather.
Starting off the day, 50-degree temperatures with sunny skies. Clouds build in, though, for a partly sunny afternoon, 68 degrees by 4 p.m. And as we take a look at our high altogether, we're going to be seeing 72-degree temperatures warming up quickly, though. Friday, 89 degrees, a breezy Saturday, and chances for showers and thunderstorms coming back into play on Sunday.
Well, according to a new report from the CDC, some people should consider easing up on the bleach. The agency surveyed about 500 people and found 39% admitted to using bleach and other disinfectants improperly in their efforts to stop the spread of COVID. Those misuses, including using disinfectant to wash food, others admit to using disinfecting sprays on their body and even skin.
And 4% even admitted to gargling with disinfecting solutions. Just to be clear, the CDC warns against doing any of these things. They could actually make you very sick.
Some common sense there too, I think. Yeah,
exactly.
Not from the CDC, but
I love brain
generalized.
cells.
Yeah. That's all the time we have tonight at 10. Thanks so much for watching.
Good night.